going on, guys? Welcome back to Chop Toys. Today is just a little talk video. I've been trying to piece together Nylint trucks. I really like Nylint trucks. They're based from, I think, late 50s or 60 down to probably the 70s, early 70s. They were pretty exact replicas of the current model Ford vehicles. You see we've got the Bronco in the background, the Econolines, they had the truck, the vans, and the pickups were probably the most sought after, or are now. Like my seafoam green one back there is the 58, 59 style body. Has a two-piece grill and a forward raked A-pillar, kind of give that wraparound window look. And then the one here in the front is the later, or the early 60s style. It's got a one-piece bumper and grill, has a raked back A-pillar, a little bit different roof, but it uses the same window glass, and the cabs are different, of course, different style. But the main thing I want to talk about is the suspensions. I don't have any stock ones. The few Nylints I've had, you can see I've chopped and lowered and done stuff too. But this U-Haul frame, I picked this up on eBay. Let me show you a little bit about that. Alright, so this is a U-Haul truck. This cab I've had for probably 15 years. It's got a new grill and new windshield. This is the original frame that it came with when I found it, with no tires or wheels. This was just a standard straight frame. I've long since cut the axle tabs off. It's been lowered, notched to clear, I think, Tonka bodies, and it's been hacked up pretty good, but I still have it around because I'll find a use for it eventually. But the frame that it's on now is one I picked up off eBay here recently. You don't usually find these separate. It's actually the twin I-beam suspension, and it's all in good working shape. Everything is there. I think it was 62 or 63 maybe. There's not a whole lot of information online about the Nylint history. Like Tonka trucks, there's a handful of websites that have the full history and when everything was made and all the little ins and outs and intricacies of the manufacturing of them throughout the years. And Nylint doesn't seem to have that very well. If anybody knows of a good site, because I Google searched, I can't find nothing. I've never been able to find anything, even in the about 20 years I've been collecting these things. But early 60s, they actually did mimic Ford's I-beam suspension, and it's functional. It was on, I think, all the models. I don't know about dump trucks, but I've seen it on regular pickups. The Speedway Special truck, which I don't have one anymore. I used to have a really nice one. Kind of sad I sold that. Those are probably the most sought after truck. They had the trailer and the little Indy car on the trailer. Beautiful truck I had. It's gone. But some of those came with it. I've seen the blue truck in the background. So it's pretty stupid simple, but it gives you some features just like the real ones have. You have a radius arm, and then you have your actual I-beams, and each side does move independent of each other. It's got a bracket that's on the frame, a little captive coil spring on each side, and it's pretty neat. This one's a little worn out. We got a little slop on this side, but it's inherent to just all things held together by rivets. They're not really, there's no grease point, there's no nothing. So over the years, it's worn out a little bit, but still in pretty good shape. These are pretty rare to find. Like I said, I've seen a few of the actual U-Haul trucks with them. There's one at the antique store that I just can't bring myself to spend the money on. U-Haul stuff, all the Nylint U-Haul stuff kind of brings a premium. I don't care for the Nylint thing a whole lot. I'd rather have the parts off of it to build regular pickups and things with. But I grabbed this thinking maybe could do something cool with it. I don't know. They were never good in real life for lowering. It was always a issue. I had a little 90s Ford Ranger for a while, and it still had the I-beams. And then later Ford actually made four-wheel drives with I-beam style, and that was horrible. But yeah, it's a neat little thing. I just picked this frame up. It was like 20 bucks shipped. Figured that was fair enough for me. But let's take a look at some other Nylint stuff. So Nylint had, in the late 50s through the mid 60s, they actually had Ford hubcaps on their Ford vehicles. You can see this is a really nice original piece. This is a larger tire. It says 8 by 19.5. Nylint toys on it. Ford hubcap. White wall's in really good shape. Tire treads barely worn. These hard plastic tires seem to last a lot longer than Tonka's tires did. They held up really well over the years. But that size, you can see on the background here, that was typically what came on the pickups, the dump trucks, the U-Haul trucks, stuff like that. They had that taller tire. And you can see we've got one here. It's not nearly as good a shape, but it says 670 by 15. And those typically came on the Econolines and the Broncos and the smaller vehicles that they made. And those are great, in great condition to use on lowered trucks. I've put them on some of my vintage Tonkas because they look more realistic. They've held up better, and the axles just press in. They have this barb. That one just barely has one barb. Some of the other ones have a staggered barb system on it, and they just push into the wheel and tire, so you can take them on and off pretty easily. A lot of them are really held on very well. I have another one over here I couldn't get off. It's really in there, but all of the smaller tires, the larger tires, they all pressed on, so it made it really easy for customizing, because you can just pull them off the one truck and put it through the other truck and shove the wheels back together. Later, after they, I guess, had a little fight with Ford or something, had a little bit different hubcap with their new Nylint in logo. Still a really nice looking piece. I've used some of these on other trucks as well. Just, like the later Tonkas look like more like a GM or a Dodge, so you don't want a Ford hubcap on it. But yeah, I actually have them on that one on the back because I didn't have a good set at the time of the Ford caps. But now I found a place online that you can get some aftermarket ones that we put on our van back there. But these are good to build with. These have a finer tread on them. Tires like this came on, I'm trying to remember what. I keep thinking that station wagon, but that's Buddy L. The Buddy L station wagon had a very similar tire, wheel, and hubcap setup, but it had a really cool looking hubcap that had no markings on it. It was just a design. I have a set of them on one of my custom Tonkas, but yeah, they're kind of hard to come by because the station wagons are pretty rare. But yeah, that's not Nylint. So, so like I've done before on the Tonka, the lifted trucks that I've built, I used the Tonka road grader tires. I used to be able to find road graders everywhere, and they were missing the blades, missing all kinds of stuff, twisted all to heck. And but the tires and hubcaps were decent. And the Tonka ones use the same hubcaps as the pickups. Nowadays they've kind of gotten hardened, and you can't get the hubcaps off without breaking what's left of the rubber, and it's really hard to do that. But Nylint, this was off of, I don't know what year, road grader. It might have been a Turnahauler. That whole line of Nylint, older style construction stuff. I've got two different sizes of Nylint tires like this, and I don't know which one came from which. I can't remember. But these have a single button style lock nut, basically. It looks like a nice little hubcap. It slides on there. So like this Bronco, we've lifted with some sheet metal brackets and pop riveted to the factory chassis. And then those just slid through the new holes we made on our bracket and push those caps on the end. Boom, get a lifted Bronco. Thought that looked pretty cool. I've just kind of pieced that together. That truck I'd had for a long time. I think I'd had that one the full 20 years I've been doing this. That was one of the first things I got. I straightened out the windshield frame, and see it's got just pop rivets on it. The seats came from a parts one I bought on eBay that was all smashed up, and the tailgate came off of a old jungle wagon version that I bought. But yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite trucks. I'll never get rid of that one. Just looks like a neat little mud truck. Now getting into the later 60s, Nylint had, what was it? It was like a dune buggy, and some of their little hot rods that they made, they had these slicks, and they have a nice looking mag wheel, a white line, and I've used some of those before with the standard front wheel, something like this in the front, and making hot rods and kind of rat rod looking trucks. That set I got off of a dune buggy I found online for just parts, and it was pretty sad shape. Those weren't as nice as I'd hoped, but I'm still hanging on to them because they might look cool behind one of these truck cabs one day. But it's just another thing you can mix and match. They still press on just like all the other wheels from Nylint. Use the same diameter axle and are easily swapped around, so it's pretty handy. I found some more of the Nylint grader tires, and these are pretty massive. I know for a fact these came off a road grader because I still have it. I still have parts of it. They're a little too big for something like this, but I have been toying with the idea of making a mud truck with this cab and using these tires. I've got a good set of 4 of them. My axles are easily made. These do have a larger diameter axle, but you know, it's easy to get some steel like that at Home Depot and just make your own and use some kind of push button cap like the other ones have. But let me know what y'all think. I really want to do something with that orange cab, maybe with the twin I-beam frame. I've had that cab forever and I just have not found a good use for it yet. I really love the slam look, but I don't know. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. A little information, a little bit of history about the Nylint trucks. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.